Alright, what's going on, y'all? OJ back here with a special video. Right in front of me is the Prudential Center because today we're going to be watching the press conference live between Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley. Now, I'm not going to pay $400 or $500 to see this event, but because this event's taking place relatively close to where I live, I thought at least maybe I can go to the press conference. So I'm just going to be taking some videos, some photos of what's going on inside and hope you guys enjoy the video.
So right when I enter the Prudential Center, I am greeted with a Power Slap promo. I ain't trying to watch this shit. I don't know anyone who's in this building who's trying to watch this shit, but for some reason, Dana White thinks this is still okay. But after sitting through that garbage, which is known as a Power Slap promo, John Anik decides to show up and take the stand. Surprise, surprise. Dana White, the promoter of the UFC, isn't here to do his job. Dana White probably out in Atlantic City, gambling 100K hands worth of blackjack. But I don't know what the fuck he's doing because at this point he's doing anything else but trying to promote UFC fighters. All right, anyways, John Anik starts to introduce the fighters. We first have Mr. 4570 Kevin Holland. Not gonna lie, I thought there would be more positive reception towards Kevin Holland, but maybe not after all. Like Kevin Holland's been acting a little bit bitchy in the past press conferences, but that's a topic for another video. But right after that, we cut over to Vicente Luque being introduced. Not gonna lie, I don't think that many people knew who Vicente Luque was in that room, but I think he's cool. I hope he wins this Saturday. It's a question as to whether or not he can still tank the shots, but I think Vicente Luque can still get it done because he's actually got grit, unlike Kevin Holland. Up next, Patchy Mix was introduced. He got a lot of love from the fans. It's very nice to see because most people don't even know who Patchy Mix is because he fought most of his career at Bellator. But now that he's here in the UFC, I'm glad, and I'm glad that a lot of people enjoy it as well. The same, however, cannot be said for Mario Bautista. After introducing Mario Bautista the terrorist, we then cut over to Officer Joe Pfeiffer. You know, he's coming out with a vengeance against Mexico and Kelvin Gastelum. Unfortunately, he is from Mexico, and Pfeiffer is going to send him across the border and possibly even put him in a body bag. Then we cut over to KG. Not gonna lie, KG looking a lot slimmer than I thought, which is crazy to say considering he built like a literal mini fridge. But I guess Kelvin Gaslam's kind of locked in to train. And also, maybe he's trying to punish Joe Pfeiffer for saying what he said against Mexico as a country. All right, up next, we got Kayla Harrison. The crowd actually loves Kayla Harrison. I didn't think that would be the case. I thought a lot of people would be like, whatever about the co-main event. But turns out a lot of people love Kayla Harrison. Now, maybe it's because the opposite end is Juliana Pena, but I'll cover her next. We now cut over to Juliana Pena. The crowd doesn't like her. Shocker. I kind of get it. Her fights aren't exactly fun to watch, but I would take her over watching fucking Raquel Pennington fight any other day. So I guess hats off to Juliana Pena. Now, the one thing I didn't account for was the amount of people who love Sean O'Malley. There were a lot of people who wore pink wigs, pink shirts, just Sean O'Malley merch in general. Like, Sean O'Malley got a lot of cheers from the fans. I did not expect that considering what Marab's done, but I guess most people here just want to see Sean O'Malley get a highlight reel KO. Last but not least, we cut to Marab. I'm indifferent to Marab. Like, he can be fun to watch, but sometimes I'm just going like, ugh. But a lot of people here, safe to say, do not like Marab. I kind of get it. Like, he is boring at times, but I thought that perception of him changed after he fought Umar Nurmagomedov. But I guess a lot of people are just Sean O'Malley fans, or they just hate Marab. I don't know which. Now the press conference starts. Of course, Marab and Sean O'Malley get the first set of questions. Not gonna lie, there wasn't much to talk about here. Sean O'Malley, he's just going on about how he's gonna be locked in for this fight, how he stopped gooning and all this shit. And meanwhile, Marab, he's talking about how we're still enemies. There wasn't really much to talk about for this fight. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish there's like a fluke KO by Sean O'Malley at this point because if Marab wins, it's gonna be boring as hell. And it's not because Marab himself is boring. It's like the style that matches up. It's gonna be a dead fight. I predict if Marab wins, it's gonna be Marab doing something similar to what he did at the first fight, just kind of holding down Sean O'Malley. Maybe he'll occasionally go in with like the tarred strikes, but most of the time the fight's gonna be taking place on the ground, where nothing's really gonna happen other than a complete stalemate. On the other hand, I'm really excited to see Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena now, not because of the technical skills, but because Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison are both doing their best to sell this fight. Kayla Harrison knows that not many people in the crowd love Juliana Pena, and she's playing that to the fact that Juliana Pena just speaks some retarded shit and that Kayla Harrison is gonna make women's MMA great again. She's already proclaiming herself to be the face of women's MMA, which is a bold statement. And she just said that right after she bulldozes through Juliana Pena, she's gonna get through Amanda Nunes, possibly challenge her for like women's GOAT status. But listen to how these two are trying to sell the fight.
Even your chihuahua doesn't like you. Even your own dang dog doesn't like you. The time for talking is almost over. Saturday night, we're gonna find out. There's the face of women's MMA, and you're looking at her.
Leona, for you, I know you said through this process you haven't been talking trash, you've just been defending yourself. But they say in sports the best defense is a good offense. So do you feel this has affected Kayla at all?
I don't know. I can only speak for myself and what I have to do, and I'm only responding to the things that she has said to me. So it's not necessarily trash talk. It's more so the fact that I'm not going to let this girl talk all over me and try to think that she's going to get into my head. It's not going to happen.
Now we cut over to Patchy Mix. Not gonna lie, there's something about Patchy Mix. He pretty cold with it, and if he destroys Mario Bautista, bare minimum, I think he should get a title elimination bout. I'm not completely sure about a title fight, but hopefully he gets something big after he destroys Mario Bautista this Saturday. Now we cut over to Mario Bautista, the sport killing terrorist. He ain't getting a title shot. Reporters asked if he thinks he's warranted for a top five challenger after beating Patchy Mix. Brother, you ain't getting no title shot.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
But last but not least, I gotta cover what Patchy Mix had to say about Mario Bautista.
I'm looking through them, bro. I'm looking through them.
Now, some more generic questions were thrown around to fighters. Blah blah blah. Chris Moutinho's back. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna look for the finish. But then John Anik was asked a few questions, and one of the few questions that were asked by Jaden Cabley. If you haven't followed this guy on Instagram, make sure to do so because this man a W mans. But anyways, Jaden Cabley asked John Anik the petition about stripping John Jones.
My question's also for you. The fans made a petition to strip John Jones of the belt. Yeah! What are your thoughts on this?
So I think the fight between John Jones and Tom Aspinall is bigger if they are both champions. I'm hopeful they're going to fight in December in Las Vegas.
Strip John Jones! Strip John Jones! Strip John Jones! Strip John Jones!
If they strip him of the heavyweight championship, he's still going to fight Tom hopefully, and it's still going to be a bad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I don't like the fact that John Anik was here because, unlike Dana White, John Anik knows how to speak in front of a microphone. He's actually intelligent and he actually knows what to say in front of the general public. He's PR trained. And in a way, I guess it's good for the UFC, though, that Dana White didn't show up because this is how Dana White would have probably responded.
Are you guys that fucking stupid? You can't be that fucking stupid to think that John Jones is not the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world and the GOAT.
I think that was the end of the press conference because right after that, they were wrapping things up and they were waiting to do face-offs. I got to watch them, but again, like, we're probably going to see them tomorrow, and the UFC already posted them, so I'm not going to bother posting them. But if you guys want to see it, just let me know in the comments down below. Now, overall, I enjoyed the press conference. Maybe it's because I was live, but I thought the crowd was overall a lot more lively. And even though it was only 13 to 14 minutes long, it didn't feel like it. I thought it was relatively long, because again, I was watching it live. Like, if I were watching this in my room through my computer or phone, I would probably be complaining about it because when I rewatched it through the UFC live stream, there was nothing really to write about. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I might consider going to UFC 316 after that because just the energy that the crowd gives, I want to experience it. Hopefully, the UFC doesn't charge me like $500 for nosebleed seats. But yeah, that's gonna be for today's video. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought about the press conference for UFC 316. And also let me know like if whether or not you're excited for this event. After staying in for the press conference live, I'm actually pretty excited. There's a lot of fans who are very passionate about MMA around New Jersey, and I just thought that it was a very fun experience that I wasn't really necessarily expecting within 13 to 14 minutes. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.